guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. So today's video is going to be a bit different. One, because although I have like notes on what to talk about, I really don't know what to say at the same time, which feels weird to say. Like, I feel like this video should be straightforward, but I'll obviously get into it in a moment. And the other thing that is different about this video is that my daughter is awake. So the person who this whole video is about is here in the room with me. So sorry if you do hear any like noise and stuff, or if I like look over there. She's just playing over there. I've tried to like move the super noisy things away, but yeah, she'll probably still make a little bit of noise. So hopefully that's not too distracting, and we can get through this video. I'm also hoping I can get through this video without crying, because there's a lot of emotional things in here, and I just want to put in like a little kind of disclaimer almost in the start of this video, in that I don't, like I say, I don't really know what I'm talking about, and I don't want to offend anyone that may be going through certain things with their child and maybe think that the things that I'm thinking are, you know, not necessarily applicable to our current situation. Or I also don't want people to just jump in the comments and be like, oh, don't worry about it, babies do things at their own rate, blah, 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 because I'm going to be completely honest with you, I'm kind of at the point where I'm sick of hearing that now. Because although yes they do, and I completely agree and I completely know that, there's also a time where you kind of just come to the realization that things are the way that they are and there isn't really any changing that. So yeah, like I say, this video is probably going to be a bit here, there and everywhere. I've tried to make notes so that I kind of remember to talk about certain things, and things, but yeah, if you do have any like other questions or anything, leave them in a comment down below or DM me on Instagram. So right, I'm going to start with, I'm going to get my phone up because that's where I wrote my notes. I'm going to start with like basic stats. So obviously this is meant to be like my daughter's 16-month update. So my plan was, when I was pregnant, like with my pregnancy updates, I was going to do them fairly regularly. I was going to do monthly updates about like how things were going and things like that. And if you followed me since I had my daughter, almost a year and a half ago, then you'll know that things were just an absolute shit show in those first few months. I didn't make any videos at all, let alone any kind of updates on her. Like I say, it's taking a lot for me to even kind of sit down and film this video, and I know I'm gonna get emotional, but equally I feel like I need to kind of address this, because obviously I talk a lot on my Instagram about things that are going on, like certain concerns maybe surrounding Soph, and a lot of people kind of ask in more detail about it, and I want to kind of try and round it up in one video if I can, and then, you know, as time goes on, kind of update from there, if that makes any sense. So we've got a general paediatric appointment this Thursday as I'm filming this, so I don't know if this video is just going to kind of go up as is, or whether I'm going to tag on an update from that or not. I might not, I might just do it completely separately. And then she's also got a community paediatric appointment in September. So yeah, so anyway, let's get into stats. So the few things that I see people talk about in obviously these update videos, I've never done one before, are things like, you know, weight, teeth, sleep, all of that sort of thing. So that's what we're going to go through. So Soph hasn't been weighed since I think she was just shy of 15 months. I think it was the 12th of May. So yeah, a couple of days before she turned 15 months. And at that point she weighed 8.24 kilos. So she's still following the 9th centile, which is what she's kind of been on since she was born. I think it went up a little while to just below the 25th, and then it's just kind of crept back down to the 9th and continued that way. So zero concerns in that respect. Height-wise, zero idea. She's only ever been measured once and it was never written in her book, so I have no idea how tall she is. I wouldn't even dare attempt measuring her myself because she wouldn't lay there for long enough for me to do it. And then in terms of like clothing sizes, she's kind of between sizes. She always has been since day one. She's been, or she's currently between 9 to 12 and 12 to 18, which I feel like is probably quite common because obviously the 12 to 18 kind of bracket is such a like wide range really that yeah, it's always gonna be too big really at 12 months. And then yeah, so she's kind of in between sizes at the moment. There's some stuff that maybe she could even creep into 18 to 24 depending on the shop and the item itself. We always have to just kind of go by eye when we do any kind of clothes shopping, which does make it quite hard because I do try and shop second hand where I can. But yeah, that's kind of where she's at in terms of size. She is still a dinky little doll. I will include her in this video at some point just so you can actually like see her. And then in terms of teeth, she has almost all of them. So I had to Google how many teeth, how many like baby teeth you get just to kind of know where we were at. I was like, are we done yet? And I believe that she's got all apart from her 4 back molars, like literally all of them, which is insane. Her canines have literally just cut. Well, one did probably about 3 weeks ago, and then one did like last week, which they seemed to take ages. You could see them there, and you could see them right like bursting at the seam, and then yeah, suddenly like popped. So yeah, teething has, to be honest, it's been fairly good as teething babies go. Like yes, she's had times where she's been upset, especially the first few, where obviously it's like a new thing, she doesn't know what's going on, it hurts obviously, and there's not really a lot we can do about it. But for the most part she's kind of dealt with it pretty well, and some of them you wouldn't have even known she was teething until you actually saw the tooth. So that is obviously a really, really good thing. And then on to like food and sleep and things. So with food, she's generally pretty good. She did go through, well, she has been through multiple phases where she's just not been interested in food like at all, and then she's gone through phases where she didn't want to eat like fruit or veg at all, which I think coincided with her having COVID, and it did take a while for that to kind of get better again. But for the most part she does eat most things that I give her, and she eats them fairly well. She does still eat on her tough tray. Again, if you follow me on Instagram then you would have seen this multiple times. But I put her on her tough tray to eat because when I was putting her in her high chair, she was chucking everything over the side, and it was just a game constantly, and she just, I know it's a development thing, but she just wouldn't kind of get out of it. So to make her actually kind of, not to make her eat, but the only way I could get her to eat and kind of enjoy it was to put her on her little kind of tough tray thing. I put her food on there and she just cracks on with it. A lot of the time she'll like chew something like twice, spit it out, but then because it's right in front of her she'll go back to it. Whereas I found that obviously when she was in a high chair, like the odd thing would obviously go in, but a lot of it would just drop down, go through the holes, go on the floor, or she'll physically chuck it over the side. And then, like I say, it's just the game of me giving it back, and then she'll chuck it again. Whereas when she's obviously on her tray and she drops it, she'll go back to it. So yeah, it's worked out quite well, and it's just kind of what we're going to do for a little while. I don't want to do it for like a long time because obviously it's super messy, because she scoops a lot of it like right under her bum and things, and yeah, it just becomes quite messy. But at the moment it's working, so that's what we're doing. And then in terms of sleep, again, if you follow me on Instagram, then you will have seen me talk at length about sleep, and I feel like it's something that you don't really truly understand until you have your own children, like how difficult sleep is. And I'm not just talking like those newborn days where they're up 50 million times a night. I mean, even, you know, toddlers do that too. But it's not just that, it's like the getting to sleep and the staying asleep and this just, it's just a whole different ball game. And I mean, it's been quite evident from fairly early on with Soph that she has fairly low sleep needs, which again I didn't really know was a thing, but it seems to be. And I don't know where she gets that from, because me and my husband, we both love our sleep. So yeah, I don't know where it's come from, but she has low sleep needs and she just takes a long time to go to sleep. So for the most part she does self-settle for naps and for bedtime, and if she does even wake up in the night, she'll generally kind of self-settle back to sleep, but it takes her hours, like each step. So it will take her a couple of hours to get to sleep for a nap. It will take her a couple of hours to go to sleep for bedtime. It will take her a couple of hours to go back to sleep if she wakes up in the night. Like, it's just her. It's just what she's like, and she's been like that for a long time now. Obviously we've looked at different things to see if there's certain reasons why that's happening. So we've looked at lengths of naps and things like that, but nothing seems, there's no pattern at all. It's just what she's like, so we just kind of get on with it. If she has enough sleep, she has enough sleep, and we just kind of roll with it. So yeah, that's kind of sleep rounded up. If you like obviously have any other questions, then put them down below. And then the last kind of category, which I feel like is kind of the main area to talk about in like update videos and things, is development. So yeah, development, milestones, whatever you want to call it, like it's obviously a massive part, I feel like, of becoming a parent. You're always kind of waiting for the next thing and just, you know, waiting for them to grow and do things, and it's like something that you kind of thrive off through the shitty days, I feel like. Like, you know, like in the early days and you're just waiting for them to like roll over or sit up or, you know, crawl and things like that. It can be something that kind of spurs you along, kind of thing. So yeah, I feel like it's obviously a massive part of just life in general. And there's been, so this is where it's going to get a bit deep. This is where we've had some areas of concern over the last, well, 6+ months now, probably closer to maybe 9+ months, where we've had concerns over Sophia's development. And like I said at the start, I know obviously a lot of people like to tell you that, you know, every child develops in their own way and at their own pace and blah blah blah, and I don't disagree with that. I totally know that Soph will do things in her own time, but like, I feel like as a parent, you just know when you know that there's something up. And it's funny, I said this to a friend the other day, I said it's funny how that when like you have a newborn and things and something's maybe not quite right, everyone tells you to trust your gut and trust your instincts and all of this. And then suddenly, like when they're, I don't know, 6 months plus and they're not, you know, maybe doing certain things, or they're a little bit delayed or whatever, people are like, oh no, it's fine, blah 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 blah. Like, there's no trust your instincts then, which I am doing. I am trusting my gut and I'm listening to it and I am just rolling with it, because we both know, me and my husband and multiple of our friends and family know that there's something different about Soph. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all, like, you know, we love her regardless, but I just want to know what that is and how I can help her, basically. I don't want to change her, I don't want to change her at all, I just want to be able to help her. So I'm going to go on to areas of development so we can kind of run through where we are currently at. So I have downloaded the ASQ form that generally your health visitor or whatever will go through with you at certain stages. This is like the 12-month one. So there's obviously a couple of different areas, And the first one is communication. So I do have a few questions actually that I asked for on Instagram, and one of them does kind of go along with this, but I'll go through those at the end. So yeah, communication. So obviously there's the main things of, you know, do they say, or do they babble, do they say a certain amount of words, blah blah blah. And by 16 months, I think they say average, like babies tend to be able to say like 3 words or something like that. Obviously this is average, like some less, some more. And Soph doesn't say any at all. She will babble, ba 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 ba, and that is it. She won't say dada, she won't say gaga, she won't babble in any other way, it's just ba ba. She has said dada once, probably close to 6 months ago now, and then never again. She just doesn't say anything at all, which I know some people will be like, thank you like stars, like she's not chewing your ear off and she's not, you know, all this, that and the other, but at the same time it's just kind of like, oh, you know. So there's obviously things like that. And then like the other side of communication, so does your baby follow like a command? So if you ask them to do something, like can you bring me the whatever, or where is the whatever, like if you're looking at a book, say where is the flower or whatever on there, do they know to point to it? Or, you know, I mean, an example that we do have is, or did have I should say, was a few months ago I somehow managed to teach Soph to or teach her what cuddle meant. So I said, oh, can you give mummy a cuddle? And then she'd come and she'd put her head, like the side of her head, like on my chest, and it was like the most heartbreaking but heartwarming thing at the same time. It was like the best thing in the world after everything we'd been through. And then 3 weeks later, gone, never again. She hasn't done it since. I constantly ask her, no, doesn't get it. But things like that, so them hearing a word, associating it with an action, blah blah blah. So in terms of communication, Soph's like completely just not interested at all. She's not interested in talking, she's not interested in kind of learning those things, those sorts of things. So like the, like I say commands, but you know what I mean, like bring me the whatever, or can you do this, or whatever, like no idea. She doesn't answer to her name or anything like that. It's very hard to get her attention, and we've had it questioned before, like, is there something wrong with her hearing? Let's get a hearing check, blah blah blah. We're still waiting for hearing tests to come through, but 99% of people agree that there's zero things wrong with her hearing, like absolutely nothing wrong with her hearing, because I'll show you. Sophia? Sophia? Wind the bobbin up, wind the bobbin up, pull, pull, clap, clap, clap. Yeah, she's interested when you sing, and you can get her attention that way, or with some kind of music, like on a toy, or, you know, video or whatever. Hello, you come to see Mama? Oh, bye. So, yeah, so communication is just basically. And then gross motor skills, so she was doing fairly well with gross motor, so obviously she can roll both ways, she can sit up independently, she can pull herself up, which she did just before she turned a year old. We were kind of like a little bit kind of like, oh, she's just not interested in pulling herself up kind of thing, and then all of a sudden she did just do it. And I know that can be the case with a lot of these things I am talking about. I know that, but I'm just talking about our current, obviously, situation. So yeah, so she does pull herself up, and she will cruise around furniture happily. She can pull herself up onto the sofa, like she can get up onto the sofa, but only in the corner bit of the sofa, because it's just the easiest way she can maneuver up there. And yeah, so I think that's it. She won't stand, she's not interested in walking at all. I'll show you again in a moment kind of what I mean by that, but like if you try to kind of walk her along or something, so you like held her under her arms or held her hands or whatever to just try and like stand her up, not even like walking her along, but just to physically stand her on her feet, she literally just goes apeshit, bends her knees, and then just like kicks off, as if to say like, put me down like on my knees and I'm gonna go off and do whatever, but I don't want to do what you want me to do, basically. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. She's not interested in walking at all, or anything, and I think that pretty much covers gross motor. Yeah, like I say, she'll crawl around happily, she'll cruise furniture and things, just not interested in walking, like, at all. And I feel like she's at sort of such a funny age that she's still on like the kind of lower end of average in terms of age for walking, but at the same time, like, a lot of people, because she's 16 months, they're like, oh, is she walking yet? And I'm like, no, she's not interested. So yeah, so that's that. And then fine motor skills, so that's a lot of kind of like the pincer grip stuff, and things like that. So again, it's something that she's just not been that great at for a long time. Obviously we try and practice things like that quite often, but she's just not there. And I don't know if that's because she's got a little bit of an issue with her hand, which she has had since birth. She had physio, well, she had 2 appointments to see a physio, she didn't have any physio, about it, and he discharged her, but I personally think she needs to be re-referred because the issue is obviously still there, and I think it's stopping her doing things. It's not stopping her doing things, she'll still get on and do things, but she doesn't, like, if you try to get her to like pick something up like this, she won't. She'll, at a push, she'll like pinch with like her middle finger. I don't know if you can really see. I don't know why I'm trying to do that. That's not even remotely helpful. But yeah, she'll do it with her like her middle finger and her thumb, rather than like her index finger and her thumb. And like I say, that's if at all. Most of the times it's very, very grabby, but if she grabs, it's very much like this. This finger's just like, fuck knows where it is, but it's just not involved. So yeah, if she goes to pick something up, like even if it's like a Cheerio or like peas or something small like that, she'll literally just grab it like that and shove it in her face. So yeah, fine motor skills, they're still not there yet either, but I'm less concerned about that because I feel like there's possibly a reason for that, and hopefully we'll kind of go into that, like I say, on this appointment on Thursday, and possibly look into re-referral to physio. So then the last 2 areas are problem solving and personal social. So problem solving, I don't think she's too bad with. It's not something that we've necessarily... Sophia... Sorry, she was about to roll off the sofa there. It's not something that we've necessarily explored like lots and lots, so I wouldn't be able to tell you really where she's at with that. I'm just kind of going off the few questions that I have here, and she's like on sometimes on some of them and not yet on the other half of them. There's no yeses. And then personal social, that's just a whole nother video in itself, I feel like, and it's things that I've obviously touched on social media and things, but I've never obviously truly gone into, in terms of like I say, getting her attention and knowing what she wants and things like that. Like, she's just not into people at all. Like, obviously she'll be interested if she sees a person, but for a split second, she's hanging off the sofa. Sophia, what are you doing? Yeah, she's just not interested in people at all. Like, you know, even ones of her age, she's just not into them, and that's fine. Like, I'm very much like that myself. But yeah, it is somewhere. It's one of the areas that we do have a little bit of concern, because there's just, I don't know, I feel like you have to kind of be there to know what I mean. But yeah, she's just not really interested in kind of people. She's not interested in playing with people. So like if you were to do peekaboo or anything like that, she's just not interested at all. Like she looks at you as if you're speaking French. She's just like, are you okay? If anything, like, I mean, it's very rare that she'll actually look at you. Like I say, trying to get her attention is so difficult. Unless you sing something to her, it's very rare that she'll turn around. Or if you like make a noise, so like if you open the door, or like if I'm in the kitchen and she's out here, I'll open the serving hatch so I can see her. And obviously when she hears that open, she does go up on the sofa and go to where the serving hatch is, to like see me and stuff. But I don't know, again, I don't really know what goes through her mind as to what she actually wants from that, whether she wants me to talk to her or play with it, I don't know. But she doesn't make anything obvious at all. Like, she doesn't let me know when she needs a drink, she doesn't let me know when she's hungry, she doesn't let me know when she's tired. She just, and I don't know if that's because she doesn't know or because she just doesn't know how to do that kind of thing. But like, I mean, for example, her bottle of water is sat on the floor. It has been like all afternoon. If she was thirsty, she wouldn't just go up and like drink it. She'll wait for me to like sporadically offer it to her and see if she wants a drink. So yeah, that's what I mean about like you just don't know if she just doesn't know what her needs are kind of thing, or she just doesn't really know how to ask for it, or obviously she doesn't know how to do it herself. So yeah, it's just a whole nother thing. So yeah, I feel like that kind of covers most of the topics. I'm going to just check those questions that obviously I asked about on Instagram yesterday. So one was, does she eat well? I struggle to get my son to eat fruit and veg now, but he used to. So obviously I did mention that earlier. Soph was exactly the same. Like fruit and veg, she wasn't interested at all. The only way I could get her to have it was like purees, like pouch purees, and she would have it then, or like finely chop up or grate veg into like meals and things, just like a proper hidden veggie type thing. That's the only way I could get her to eat it. She just wasn't interested at all. But she does eat better now. Another one, which again, like I said, kind of have covered, was how many words does she say and what is the cutest? I did see this message come through, this question come through yesterday, and obviously I opened myself up to questions like that by asking for questions, and I knew something like that was going to come through, but it was still a bit like, ugh, at the same time, because 0, she doesn't have any words at all. So yeah, I can't even answer what's the cutest because she doesn't do any. Ba ba ba, that's the cutest because it's the only one she does. And another question was, how do you manage TV time with her? I always get mum shamed for letting my daughter watch stuff. First of all, don't let anyone mum shame you for anything at all. The way that I wouldn't even say I manage it, because of the type of person that I am, because of like the whole ADHD thing, I have to have the TV on all the time. Like, I don't have to be watching it, but it's just like background noise for me, so it's on all the time, so I don't really manage her time with it. It's like Soph doesn't sit down, like if I were to put something on, she wouldn't just sit down and watch it though. She's kind of like me in that respect. She kind of wants it there for background noise. Like, I'll put on like nursery rhymes or whatever if I'm in the kitchen and she's happy as Larry. Or, you know, if she's having a meltdown or something, I'll put videos on YouTube, like Baby Century stuff. Still absolutely loves that, and that is the thing that calms her down. And I think that's the thing, like, with everything in terms of parenting, like, whatever works for you, like, don't let anyone shame you for doing anything, like, whether that's to do with feeding, TV time, like, any kind of activities you do or don't do, or groups that you go to or don't go to. Like, it's just what works for you, and you just kind of have to do what's best for you and whatever gets you through the day. And if that is putting the TV on, like, you shouldn't feel bad, or you shouldn't be made to feel bad about that, like, at all. So yeah, I wouldn't even worry about it, to be honest. Like I say, there's no way I kind of manage her TV time as such. She's not really one for sitting down and watching it, but it is on a lot of the time. So yeah, I hope that kind of answers your question. It doesn't really, I know that. But yeah, it's a funny one because I know a lot of people have a lot of opinions on a lot of different things, but specifically about like TV time. But I would say the majority of parents, probably a good 95% of parents, stick the TV on as a distraction method or whatever, and there's absolutely no shame in that. So yeah, I am going to share Soph with you now, because obviously this video is all about her. So let's take you vloggy style over to her and say hello. Sophia! Hello! Hi, baby! Yes, we like touching the lens, don't we? So yeah, this is her. She is, like I say, just over 16 months now. She has a proper mullet, don't you? You have lots of hairies, lots of teeth. Yes, not a lot of words, do you? Ba, ba, ba. That's right, clever girl. And she loves anything that's got a logo or a pattern. If you're wearing stripes or you've got spots on your top or whatever, loves it. We'll go over with a wide mouth and just headbutt you. I don't know what it is, but yeah. So that pretty much covers her 16-month update. Like I say, I will probably sporadically kind of update as time goes on, and if you have any questions, like I said earlier, pop them in the comments down below or in a message over on Instagram, and I will try and answer you as best I can. I just want to say this as well, just before the video cuts off, but please just be mindful of anything that you are going to comment down below, not just for me, but for other people as well, because obviously it can be very hard when you are kind of going through any kind of concerns, obviously, with your children. You're going to be like, oh no, she's absolutely fine, she's really happy. I can already sense it. So yeah, just be mindful of anything that you may comment. Obviously not on just this video, but any other video on YouTube that you may watch. And I'm going to love you and leave you. I will speak to you all very soon. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you all very soon. So bye! Bye bye!